Thank you, Professor. I would like to thank Professor Tsikhridis for this very thorough overview. Let's now move to the next presentation of this session. Ms. Vasiliki Sotiropoulou from the Managing Authority of the European Territorial Cooperation Authority will present us the new ENPI CBC Black Sea Basin Program, the prospects for cooperation during 2014-2020. I believe this is a very interesting presentation. Thank you.
Ευχαριστώ πολύ and thank you very much. Ευχαριστώ και τους διοργανωτές. Θα μου επιτρέψετε λίγο στα ελληνικά να πω ένα ευχαριστώ που προσκάλεσαν στη σημερινή διοργάνωση και την Υπηρεσία Διαχείρισης των Προγραμμάτων και το εκ μέρους του Υπουργείου Οικονομίας. So on behalf of the Ministry of Economy and the Managing Authority of European Territorial Cooperation programs, I would like to thank the organizers for this invitation today. So this is a less scientific, but I hope equally interesting intervention of us, showing how all these very important proposals are going to be financed and how some of them have already been financed. So this is the cross-border cooperation program in the Black Sea Basin area. Let me start, if I may, enter. Με τα βελάκια. Okay. So what is it? What is the cross-border cooperation? The cross-border cooperation is... Okay. So the European cross-border cooperation policy of the European Union supports the cooperation between the NUTS 3 regions. That means a larger regional entity, not on a municipality level, but bigger, from at least 2 different member states lying directly on the borders or adjacent to the borders. What is its aim? Its aim is to tackle common challenges and, as we say, to first identify what the joint common problems are of the border regions and together try to form a proposal in order to solve them. So the long-term target will be a harmonious development of the whole area. However, what is the ENI or ENPI? Because you saw it, maybe you saw it in the, also in the title of the project and in other references. So the ENI or ENPI is the European Neighborhood Instrument. This is a funding mechanism, actually. This is a wallet out of which we get the money to finance the budgets of these kind of projects. The European Neighborhood Policy was launched in 2004, and it aims at strengthening the relations between the European Union and its neighborhood partners, including the introduction of regional initiatives to support democratization. The European Union Neighborhood Instrument is applied for 16 countries of the region, which are the ENI South Periphery, that includes from Algeria to Tunisia, Syria, Palestine, Morocco, Libya, Lebanon, Jordan, and Israel, and Egypt, and ENI East, which is in our case the periphery of the program, including Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Georgia, Moldova, and Ukraine. And one would ask himself or herself, where is Greece in that, and what do we have in Greece to do with all these with this geographical area. So as I said before, and it is important to remember, we fund, the program is funding projects between the neighborhood and the European Union. So some of the countries are on the side of the European Union, some other countries come from the neighborhood. And the aim is to work together for tangible results in the broader area. You can see I have added a couple of websites where you can get more information if you want. Okay. So regarding the current program is which has financed the project that we are here for today, was the ENPI Cross-Border Cooperation Program from 2007 to 2013. But now we are moving to a new programming period that has already started 2014 and lasts till 2020. So let me share with you some observations from the period already that has already been implemented. Between 2007 and 2013, what did we observe? We had, when I say we, I mean the authorities working together for the program. The managing authority is based in Romania, in Bucharest, and is coordinating the whole program from let's say, planning to closure. We, the rest of the countries, we participate as national authorities. Personally, I participated in the programming committee, so let's say we, all together, all the authorities. So we had, during this period, we had 368 project proposals submitted. That shows the great interest in this kind of programs. Out of which 62 contracts were concluded. That means that actually 62 projects were financed altogether. Another observation was the increase by the European Commission of the initial program's budget with additional 11 million euro, that is recognizing the importance of the program. The program also showed strong relevance strong relevance to the needs of the countries and the priorities, which also included the environmental dimension under which this project was financed. There was an excellent cooperation among partner countries, leading to stable partnerships. However, it was observed that extensive partnerships proved difficult to manage. I don't know how this project was easily or difficulty managed in terms of number of participating countries, number of partners, but we observed that large partnerships sometimes need a more sophisticated management system. Last but not least, I have to point out the capitalization of experience by the future Black Sea Basin program between 2014 to 2020, under which this project may, if the partners and the actors involved may want to capitalize on the outcomes already shown. So the eligible area, you can see a map of the area here, from Romania, Bulgaria, Greece, Turkey, Russia, which in the end is not participating, Ukraine, that participates under difficult circumstances right now, Republic of Moldova, Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan participate in the program with the whole country. So, budget. The ENI budget, which is the budget, the money that comes from the European Union, amounts to 39 million euros for the coming period, plus IPA budget, which is the budget that is set aside for the countries that are in a process of candidate countries like Turkey, for example. That means that the total budget will appear when I press the right button, yes, which is 49 million euros. That is only the European Union contribution plus co-financing that is put by the countries interested. The total funding is up to 54 million euros. So let's see what these 54 million euros will finance the next programming period. I understand that the specific interest here is the environmental policies and funding environmental projects. So I will just give you an overview. This is the wider strategy and the objectives of the program. The main objective, the wider objective of the program is what? Is actually to improve the welfare of the people actually living in these areas, in these regions, through sustainable growth and joint environmental protection. So you see that joint environmental protection is already an element in the BSB wider objective. As you see, two are the main thematic objectives. One focuses on the business and entrepreneurship within the Black Sea region, and the other thematic objective focuses to promotion of coordination of environmental protection and joint reduction of marine litter within the Black Sea Basin. The second thematic objective comprises two priorities: the improvement of joint environmental monitoring and promotion of common awareness raising and joint actions to reduce river and marine litter. I will show you, well, I don't think it is necessary right now to analyze all the indicative activities that can be financed under each priority, but maybe focus on the ones that you're more interested in. So this is the business and entrepreneurship sector that includes tourism and cultural sector. Then the second priority is related to the trade opportunities, modernization of the agricultural and connected sectors. And here are some indicative activities that can be financed. But now I will move and stay a little bit more in priority 2.1, which aims to improve joint environmental monitoring and includes potential activities that indicatively, for example, are to reinforce joint cross-border monitoring, evaluation and information systems in order to prevent and control transboundary pollution, improve long-term cross-border collaboration and research capacity in addressing ecosystem transformation and biodiversity monitoring, strengthen the collaboration between science, industry, relevant stakeholders, and decision makers in order to harmonize monitoring, marine environment assessment, and data provision, and so on. So you see that under this priority, room for research has been given. The second priority focuses on the promotion of common awareness raising and joint actions against river and marine litter. And as you can see, indicatively, activities would include to jointly raise public awareness and education regarding river and marine litter problems and the value of biodiversity and environmental protection, to share and promote good environmental management practices and technologies, including small-scale investments, for example, related to treatment and disposal of waste. Here is one door of opportunity for you. To promote cross-border Black Sea Basin coastal and river cleanup campaigns, for example, involving students of the universities and other educational institutions, and share good experiences in the field, to encourage involvement of civil society, private sector, local, regional authorities, and waste services to combat river and marine litter pollution, and to share experience to improve port reception facilities and services for garbage collection from vessels. These are only indicative activities to which we came up during the planning phase, during the programming phase of the program, but they are not exhaustive. So the list is not exhaustive. It can be enriched with other activities and project proposals that will necessarily have to meet the criteria that will be set during the implementation of the program. That means when we are ready to have the first call for proposals, certain criteria will be set in order for the proposals to be evaluated. So who can apply? Partners implementing projects will primarily represent regional and sub-regional administrative levels, as well as civil society organizations based within the eligible program area. Eligibility of project partners is based on E&I regulation, but priority will be given to local and regional authorities, to the civil society organizations, chambers of commerce, academic and educational community, and so on. And eligible potential beneficiaries shall be detailed in the guidelines for applicants that will be prepared before the each call for proposals. So everybody will be able to understand right from the beginning if they are eligible for funding or not. By the end, I'm going to give you now an indicative timetable so that you can start preparing yourselves, preparing your partnerships, because a partnership needs quite some length of time to be developed, unless it's already developed and is going to be continued for the next period. So the submission of the joint operational program to the European Commission is expected to be done by the end of June 2015, now this June, for example. Negotiations and approval by the European Commission, we don't know how long they will last, but experience says that maximum 6 months we need before the joint operational program is approved. So by the end of the year, more or less, because August is a non-active month for most of the countries, the European Commission included. So then we have to have the signature of financing agreements between the European Commission and partner countries that needs to be done during maximum 1 year from the adoption of the joint operational program. What is a financing agreement? The financing agreement refers to the countries outside the European Union, because in this general framework of the European neighborhood policy, the European Union signs bilateral agreements with each individual country that wants to join the neighborhood programs. So unless these financing agreements are signed, the specific country cannot participate in the program. We only had, I think, one example during last period of a country not signing a financing agreement, and that was with Azerbaijan. So we expect the first call for proposals the second quarter of 2016, and the second call for proposals the second quarter of 2018. So second quarter of 2016, it's like maybe less than a year from today. So I think all the interested parties should start preparing their partnerships and their proposals. So thank you very much for your attention. If there are any technical questions on financing and stuff like that, I will be happy to respond later. You can see here the information about the contact persons in Romania, which is the managing authority, and in Greece. For the moment, you can address any questions to me, and the relevant websites. Thank you very much for your attention.